Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to have an expert with us. This is what I call the voice of the skilled, as opposed to the voice of the youth, which is the other series here. Right now, we have with us Mr. Manohar Malani. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Manohar.
Thank you very much, Subodhji. So I keep on speaking in an English kind of a thing. So switching between languages comfortably.
It's fine. Speak
Great.
in any language that you want, whether I understand it or not.
Perfect.
All right. So, बोलिए.
Uh, I am personally focused on a mission ki reduction of toxicity and movement to sustainable agriculture. Now, one of the biggest challenges कि rationalist होना बहुत problematic है. You take any extreme view and people would love you because you fall into a club. But the moment you talk rationally with logic and try to raise questions, then there's always a challenge. So, लाइक नॉर्मली ऐसा होता है कि जो नेचुरल फार्मिंग और एकदम क्लासिकल ऑर्गेनिक पे बात करते हैं कि एक्सट्रीमली हमको कुछ नहीं डालना है. सो देयर इज वन ग्रुप विच सेज कि एवरीथिंग विच स्टार्ट्स विद द वर्ड सी इज अ केमिकल एंड एनीथिंग विच इज केमिकल इज बैड, not even realizing that everything is finally chemical. So, so, so पानी भी chemical ही है. So that is one extreme thing. And the second extreme kind of people, they जिनको लगता है कि बिना दवाई के या बिना कुछ डाले हुए कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता है. So all other things what you call is not going to happen. So there are two spectrum in which people keep on moving. So we try to be into the right space or rather the middle space whereby we think कि ultimately when we talk of natural agriculture or farming, I think agriculture can never be natural. क्योंकि वे डोमेस्टिकेशन ऑफ प्लांट, जब हमने पौधों को गुलाम बनाया वहां से एग्रीकल्चर शुरू हुआ है. तो द मोमेंट डोमेस्टिकेशन हैज टेकन प्लेस, सो यू कैन नॉट हैव समथिंग कॉल्ड नेचुरल एग्रीकल्चर. तो इसको एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा. सो द रूल ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट डू नॉट अप्लाई टू द रूल ऑफ द फार्म एज इट इज. वो कभी नहीं होने वाला है, क्योंकि होल ह्यूमन सोसाइटी का इवोल्यूशन इज अराउंड फार्मिंग. एंड वी आर टॉकिंग ऑफ फार्मिंग, तो इट स्टार्ट्स विद डोमेस्टिकेशन ऑफ प्लांट. So we have chosen what to grow, how to grow, where to grow, how much to grow. So the moment we go into control, we have to understand it cannot be natural. Now, जब natural नहीं होगा तो definitely human intervention रहेगा. Now, human intervention रहेगा तो something has to be put in, for the mass balance has to be there in place. Yes, I do agree excessive use of toxicity होना या excessive use of chemicals which are harmful होना is always going to be trouble. बट कुछ नहीं डालेंगे, हम नेचुरली करेंगे, दैट ऑल्सो इज अ रॉन्ग नोशन. एज्यूमिंग वही, क्योंकि नोशन गड़बड़ कहाँ से होता है, व्हेन यू फंडामेंटली से नेचुरल एग्रीकल्चर, देन योर फाउंडेशन इज अ बिट डिस्टर्ब्ड बिकॉज यू आर लुकिंग एट द बेसिक रॉन्गली. सो वी कम फ्रॉम दैट मिड स्पेस. दैट्स व्हाट आई आर ट्राइंग कि मिड स्पेस को कैसे अचीव करना. सो आई वुड लाइक टू हैव क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम यू, सुबोध जी.
Okay. Well, let me say that I agree with you. Okay. And let me say that I'm also involved in doing things in this space, but don't want to talk much. I want to hear from you as to how you go about it. But let me just say one thing, that we do have a tag called organic.
Yeah,
And I think, and I've written that this tag is a disaster
I agree with
because
you.
it is so extremist that less than 2% of the world's crops qualify. So you can be proud that you are organic, but you are in such a minority that it makes no difference. Even when you go to the so-called fancy stores in my area, which initiated the sale of organic food here, right? And perhaps the supermarkets in the world. You go there, and this is an affluent area, and yet there's non-organic food stuff available there. because even people like me who have lots of money can't afford to pay for everything organic. Now, some of the friends, oh, we drink only organically. But when you ask them, they find out, no, but this is okay, you know. So this is the situation here. And once you move down the income ladder, organic bananas are 3 times inorganic bananas. Who can afford it? So it cannot be a mass movement. So I think the very definition of organic as opposed to everything else, very strict, so many criteria, binary, it's not a scale, right,
Correct.
of toxicity to the soil. And so you end up with the extreme and everybody loves it, but it doesn't work. And it's not going to save the world. It has failed to save the world. So this is my view. I've written it also that look, this is a tag that held a lot of promise, but the rigidity of the definition, like in energy efficiency, we have different scales for the efficiency of buildings. Okay, you can lead, you can be platinum, gold, silver, bronze, but we don't have that in agriculture. It's organic. Okay, it's organic. So what? What can I do about it? No doctor tells me to eat organic food. No nutritionist tells me to eat only organic food, and I can't afford it.
No, even tell me one thing. How to define organic?
No, there is a
Eh,
definition. There is a
is that
definition, okay? And the definition is there, and that is applied if you want the label. So it doesn't matter to me what the exact definition is. I know that it is very strict and very rigid to get that label in the US organic, okay?
correct?
And so the result is that the masses are not eating organic food. So it's a pointless label to have.
I would rather say what is easier to qualify a food is you look at the nutrient profile of the food, right? And you look at the toxicity. All other definition, because even if you grow it naturally, but suppose it is nutrient deficient, if the soil is nutrient deficient, and you decide not to supplement it through any source, right? Will you get a good food? Will you get the good quality? You will never get a good
No,
quality.
but that is now, a very more philosophical question. Those people don't claim that it's good for you. They say it may not be good for you. It's good for the soil. It's good for the world. It's good for, and I am sympathetic to the idea. But sympathy aside, it is 98% of the stuff is not, it is not available. Anyway, I don't want this to be a discussion about my
Yes.
views, so please continue with your
So,
views.
so exactly with this, we came with a very specific focus and with a very clear definition that what we want to do. So all our solution hinges on two basic aspects. Is it toxic? We'll try to reduce it substantially, making
By
it
it, what do you mean by it? Is it it? What is that it?
any input we provide to a farm,
The input, you mean is the
any
input?
input,
Yeah.
anything we give for crop care or for crop protection or for crop nutrition, we work with two basic fundamental. Is it spoiling soil or the ecosystem? One thing. Or is it introducing any toxicity into the whole chain, including the produce? Now, anything which is not disturbing these two things and rather improving the soil, that's what we say has to be followed. Now, which is easier to understand, easier to quantify, easier to qualify as an action. And of course, the thing has to produce outcome because farming is a profession for millions of people. For them, it is not only a fancy word or it's not a farmhouse which they are going to enjoy during weekends and keep on earning somewhere else. For them, it's a profession. For them, it's a livelihood. So you can't expect them to talk fancy while not able to feed their families.
Mm,
So it has to be profitable. It has to be productive for them
mm,
as individual farmers.
mm,
At a macro level, obviously there should be sufficient production to feed the world.
Hmm.
So you cannot apply the logic of a world with 100 crore population, and you can't, if you try to solve the problem of 900 crore population with the same parameters, it's not going to work. So the whole parameters have changed, whole equations have changed. So with that, we have to address. So we work with very clear thing. Is the farmer getting profitable? That's the most important thing. Is the produce what it is getting from the farm is good and nutritious? And is it damaging the soil or improving the soil?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that with that, I think this is far more clear to define and focus upon. Right. So all our solution in last 3 years we've been trying to build is centered around that.
Okay. All right.
So
So
similarly, when we, yeah, you'll say
go
something.
ahead. No, please go ahead.
Similarly, while working with this, we figured out, and which is a common fact, that soil biology has to be the starting point. So I look at two as a fundamental things to be done to change the equation. First thing is improving the soil biology, and the second time, on the second side, reducing the toxicity. Now, if these two things if we can improving, the rest of the things will follow automatically. वो अपने आप जगह पे आ जाएगी. Right. A lot of time people say, yeah, if we give biological, but if carbon is not there, then what's the point? So first put the carbon. But if there is carbon but no soil biology, still it will not help. And you can't keep on bringing carbon from outside. So मेरे को लगता है कई बार इट्स अ कैच 22 पहले क्या करना भाई. Right. So we thought of कि जितना ज्यादा biological आप soil में दोगे. Overall, I'm not talking of making one single hero kind of a thing. Because even if you look at the biological revolution, then there is one lobby which keeps on talking of making one superheroes. So trichoderma is a superhero for somebody Pseudomonas is a superhero, for somebody Mycorrhizum as a superhero. So everybody will talk of one superhero. And they are trying to address the problem in the same manner that, okay, this problem, this microbe will work. This problem, this microbe will work. Right. I think there's that fundamental problem of thinking क्योंकि जो प्रॉब्लम केमिकल के साथ था because when we are looking at chemical pesticide we're talking of that micro understanding because the center of the focus was killing a particular pest. If we take the same approach with biologicals, then we are not changing anything. Only we are changing the weapon. But our approach remains same. Right. But biological, I think, works well and works very well when they work as in synergy as a group of microbes, as an ecosystem of microbes, instead of making a single superhero out of it. Right. Because in that approach, what happens? Then everybody started talking of particular microbe, packing it in a bottle and delivering it. And trying to teach the farmer different name of the different microbes and their functionality. They tried to make a microbiologist out of a farmer, which I think was another fundamental trouble that how to approach the subject. The same farmer when using a pesticide, in 9 out of 10 cases, he is not aware about the molecule. He is aware about a brand name or a product which is using. Even if we go to a doctor and if doctor says that, okay, you need probiotics, we don't go and ask him the name of the bacteria which he is giving us. Except lactobacillus, probably we don't know a single microbiome which is there in our gut. Although 30-40 major and maybe 800,000 different kinds of microbes are there in the gut. So why we expect farmer to know the name of all the microbes? I don't understand. Right. So what they need is a qualified input. Second, what they need is a consortia of inputs. Now here, even the law comes into picture. Now SEO will say you can't have more than 2 microbes together or 3 microbes together. CIB will say you can only have this microbe together. Now, if you go by that approach, then a farmer will end up using what, 20, 30, 40 products. So that becomes non-viable. Right. So we appreciate, like recently government came up with that bioresource center. Now, when they come up with the bioresource center, initial approach was fine. But then we ended up with another extreme that you don't need to buy anything from anywhere. Everything farmer can do on their own, right? You have got open drums in which you do something. So we have got Jivamrit. Some of them end up making very good quality. I appreciate. But most of them end up being not even able to understand what's happening and what is being made. So obviously, when you are open to total unknown things, then what microbials you are creating, you don't know. And what consortia you are able to make, there's no control. So we are talking of on second side, some of them try to set up labs at FPO level or farmer level or village levels. Now, once again, trying to set up the labs over there, trying to teach farmers or somebody is a vocational course of 5-7 days on how to isolate microbes, how to maintain cultures, how to multiply it. That is another extreme. What we have seen as a result, neither this is flourishing nor that is flourishing. And most of our investment has gone for a toss because the approach is once again. So we are talking of somewhere, see, even that adversity that nobody should do any commercial business in agriculture is also a fallacy. That you say that all companies are doing wrong. So you should not be buying from anybody. Farmers should be absolutely self-sufficient. Now, we think that also is a wrong notion. We are into a connected world. राइट एज्यूमिंग कि फार्मर सब खुद ही करेगा तो फिर वो मटेरियल भी तो किसी को नहीं बेचेगा ना फिर एवरीबडी इज एन इंडिपेंडेंट एंटिटी सो एवरी विलेज बिकम्स कंप्लीटली सेल्फ सफिशिएंट न किसी को किसी से काम करना है तो ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है इवन विद द फार्म्स गोइंग स्मॉलर फार्मर हैज सो मेनी एक्टिविटीज टू डू ही कैन नॉट डू एवरीथिंग बाय हिमसेल्फ उसको खेत में भी काम करना है सामान भी बेचने भी जाना है खरीदने भी जाना है सो ही कैन नॉट मेक एवरीथिंग ऑन हिज ओन सो देयर हैज टू बी ग्रेडेड अप्रोच and that's where we keep on focusing and personally I am passionate about it that there has to be a balanced approach. Farmers should get good technology, they should get regular support from some industries, they should be able to produce many things at their own place which are not very technical in nature. For example, somebody needs to use humic acid, seaweed. Humic acid, seaweed, if I buy and mix in water, use it, is as efficient as I getting something with a 10% liquid coming in the bottle. So there I would definitely expect that farmers or farmer groups should set up a common unit and get the raw material because it's only a mixing and it's a nutrition, right? If slight overdosing is not going to harm them. Similarly, multiplying in a controlled environment whereby, say, technical is provided by somebody else and they only locally do the multiplication. So they have eliminated almost all aspects. So technology-wise, the lab support is supplied by, is supported by somebody, and local level they can produce and distribute it. So they get the logistics advantage. So they are not carrying water, they are not unnecessarily carrying bottles, and they are not adding miles to the travel of that. And they can use it fresh. Biologicals finally are best used when they are fresh. However, stabilizer I may use, I wanted to survive for 2 years or 1 year because of my problem with the central manufacturing and logistics, not because it is going to be efficient. And irrespective, even if I pack a bottle and sell it, it is going to perform best on day one. And every day it passes, it is going to reduce by certain efficiencies. So might be after 1 year, it will be at 80% efficacy, which will pass the law or which is required to be the minimum standard as per the legal requirement and as per the license. But that does not mean that it is going to improve after 1 month. So my idea is that if farmers follow these basic principles, and if we look at the policy framework, all the solutions with this framework, we would be better served. Then we'll be talking of a more rational and logical solution. You go to any extreme position, then you lose the whole thing. You say we are not going to talk to any commercial companies and it has to be purely be made by the farmers, only with the local available things. Then we are in a soup. or nothing the farmers are going to anything, everything should be made from the factory and sent, then also you have lost. So there has to be a graduated middle path whereby probably profiteering may be bad, but profit is not bad because everybody has to generate. That's the way our economy works and that's the way society is there. So there's no harm in that. Right. So probably I am trying to advocate a middle path when it comes to understanding of agriculture in terms of organic or inorganic. I don't want to define it as organic or inorganic. I want to define as probably we'll talk of sustainable, non-toxic or environmental friendly as far as possible. None of my practices should leave the soil worse than what I inherited. So every day we keep on improving the soil gradually. So that's where the capital improvement of like what to say my from the balance sheet perspective that improves my asset side for the long run. But also I have to understand my local my this month's PL because I can't survive the season without making money. So I have to be profitable, maintain my profit on season one. I have to maintain my health as well as my consumer's health. So for that, I will also reduce pesticides. I will reduce cost by trying to produce some of the things which are not very technical in nature or which can be like somebody does half the technical, I do rest of the things, thereby bringing that midway approach and reducing the cost optimization and creating a cost optimization. So I think these combinations can lead to a good evolution into the market space in agriculture, which will be a win-win for everybody, whereby we are trying to reduce the inefficiencies and ambiguities. Like, for example, I was just discussing with somebody on LinkedIn this morning, yesterday only, in fact, that one of the major issues which I had been trying to advocate for last 5, 6 years is today, if there is a claim due to, say, hailstorm or heavy rain or drought, what's the process like? We don't have exact data of the weather or of the situation from a village level. Currently, our data is either at district level, but a district is too big a place. For me, an average rainfall of the district does not define my village, and it is not going to impact the farms of my village, right? Now, what government can do, or what overall we can evolve into is, we can have village level weather stations. They are not very expensive now. Right. Now, this will have multiple advantages. What will happen with hyperlocal weather advisory available? Because the weather station is measuring the local temperature, pressures, and other things. Then I got the satellite data. And with so much now computational engine available, you can reasonably uh, go give very good prediction for next 3, 4 days for the weather for the particular village. Now that is going to help me. Lot of time say my crop is ready for harvest. Now, if I get a clear indication that 4 days down the 4 days later there's going to be heavy rain, I will go for harvesting. And whatever is, I'll recover the things. But without hyperlocal data advisory, I don't know that. So this is on the times of ये बोलेंगे जब उसको proactive action लेना है. So then how the farmer will look at it. Now coming to the other aspect. Now, अब आपके पास exact measurement of what really happened in the village, right? For every crop, you can benchmark, clear metrics बनाया जा सकता है कि weather में ये changes हुआ तो how much it is going to impact the crop, right? So now you have got a metrics, you have got the crops, you have got the exact data. Why do you need that inspection by the pradhan, and why you leave it to ambiguity for individuals to play around? And then today a survey will take place, a report will go, then the claim will come by the time the season is over, and you lead to a lot of trouble with the financial stress in the market and a lot of inefficiencies. Otherwise, it's simple. You have got the weather data for the particular village, which is a matter of truth. The impact of that into various crops in terms of productivity or losses is a clear metrics, right? So why do you even need you have got the Satbara, but it is recorded in my 10 acres, what I am planting, right? Now, let's say 100 is my average performance if everything is fine, right? Now, let's say I'm not going to get rewarded by insurance as long as it goes up to 70, knowing that some weather disturbances are going to happen. But then there's a clear metrics if the impact is more than that, and then this is my insurance claim which I will be getting. And it should be automated. So that will improve the rural economy, that will remove the ambiguities, that will make the farmer insurance more defined. So these are the kind of takes I am taking and I am fighting for, I am standing by and I'm promoting that if the things has to change, these are the ways we should be moving around. And on direct impact, especially for the bioresource center, I had always believed that. And midway fermentation system has to be there for the farmers, which is not going to be as complex as a industrial grade fermentation.
Hmm.
But it cannot be as raw as a open drum multiplication.
Hmm.
Right. So we had been able to, and had been able to get that design on the ground. So now farmers can produce biofertilizer, biopesticide, and biologicals in the range of 25 rupees a liter.
Hmm.
Same quality, almost the same quality what they are going to get from a professional industrial setup.
Hmm.
Right. So we are driving that very hard to help farmers win this biological war.
Yeah.
So especially if you look at, say, nitrogen fertilizer, if we're talking of nitrogen subsidy.
Hmm.
Now, if you look at fertilizer, ultimately 2/3 is nitrogen,
Yes.
right? So if you look at the subsidy component, almost 2 lakh crore is nitrogen.
Hmm.
Now, what I understand is we should be treating nitrogen separately and other mineral fertilizers separately because they are not same.
No.
Because all other thing you will have to get from somewhere. Let it be manure, let it be runoff from the water or anywhere.
Hmm.
But nitrogen is something which is available in the air. And we know already microbes and other processes are there to fix that nitrogen.
Hmm.
Right. Even if I manufacture ammonia in the factory, I'm going to get the nitrogen from air only.
Hmm.
So there is no other source to capture nitrogen.
Hmm.
Right. So with biologicals, if we take a target of reducing nitrogen consumption by, let's say, 30% in 2 years,
Hmm.
and it's possible with biologicals,
Hmm.
right? Tell me in one sweeping change, how much subsidy we are able to reduce,
Hmm.
fertilizer subsidy,
Hmm.
while improving the soil also.
Hmm.
Right? At times, when I keep on asking this question, we import so much pulses. Now, why not government can give higher prices for the pulses? Because that also does the second activity of fixing nitrogen in the soil,
Hmm.
right? And pull out some of the budget from the fertilizer subsidy and put it over here
Hmm.
because they are giving you nitrogen in the soil,
Hmm.
right? Per acre nitrogen fixation, what they have done is known to you.
Hmm.
So whatever fertilizer subsidy you are giving for, say, urea or ammonia,
Hmm.
give that much to the pulse
Hmm.
and give them two component. Okay, you're paying 100 rupees for, let's say, minimum support price, which
Hmm.
goes to the account of buying pulse,
Hmm.
and you say pay another 10 rupees a kg or whatever amount it comes to, which is pulled from the nitrogen subsidy.
Hmm.
So at least you'll be doing a win-win. Instead
Hmm.
of giving the subsidy to a factory to produce more ammonia,
Hmm.
you give that much amount to the farmer to bring more nitrogen to the soil.
Hmm.
Because finally you are going to get nitrogen from the air only. But
Right.
unfortunately, we talk of fertilizer in a single binary.
Right.
Right. I would like to look at that in a two different groupings.
Hmm.
Nitrogen fertilizer and
Hmm.
non-nitrogen fertilizer.
Hmm.
And then approach the subject in a different manner.
Hmm.
So there are two advantages. One thing is I am addressing 75% of the problem different in a different manner, and I am addressing 25% of the problem in a different manner.
Hmm.
That will allow me to look at the subject with a fresh lens.
Hmm.
So these are the kind of take I have on agriculture and sustainable agriculture. And a lot of time, both the groups hate me. The 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 classical chemical or other what we call as today as a conventional farmers, uh, they hate me because I talk of biologicals and I talk of sustainability, uh, and because the typical hardcore activists also hate me because they also talk of that some supplementation may be required and you should not shy away from that.
Hmm.
So giving certain potash or
Hmm.
phosphorus or sulfur or silica is not a bad idea.
Hmm.
So
Okay, good. Tell us how you came to this place. Where did you
uh,
start? How did it happen that you desire to be hated by so many people? I mean, you said to yourself when you were young, okay, let me do something in which people will hate me.
so I had
So
always been like
let's hear let's hear how you got started. By the way, I
No,
agree with you. So I'm laughing with you, not at you. I'm laughing with you that look, you must have decided at the age of 21, what can I do to get a lot of people to hate me?
very simple, be a rationalist.
No, but how did you get into this field? What made
Well,
you come there? What was
yes,
your training?
I came from primary from the engineering background, an instrumentation engineer. Then I was into IT security for good 20-25 years. So I'd been selling IT security.
What
While
security?
selling IT security,
Okay.
antivirus firewalls and all that
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Yeah.
So I had been into IT security. Although personally, I'd always been in love with natural solutions or a reasonable solution. I think I had probably one or twice I had an antibiotic in my life. Uh, Even I don't think I taken paracetamol more than once or twice,
Hmm,
and same with the painkiller. So I think
hmm.
in last 55 years, that's the only kind of medicines I've taken. It's most of the time if you go sick, go to take rest, or have some changes in your food habit, and you are almost back to normal. So most of the time, it's like if you take medicine, it will take 7 days, else it will be good in a week's time.
Hmm.
So, so I believe in that theory that let's not instead of 7 days, if it takes a week, I don't mind. So let me get recovered. And fortunately,
Okay.
till now, it has been doing reasonably well. Yes, sometimes I end up taking some supplements of maybe B12 or vitamin D. That is something that deficiency, probably the food habit or something goes haywire. But parallelly, because of that nature, looking at life from alternate solutions or non-conventional solution and being a practitioner of somewhat naturopathy, homeopathy, or the home remedies as my primary go-to thing. So we thought of going into agriculture.
Who's
So we
we? Who's we?
started,
Who's we?
me, my partner, Pradeep Gupta, and all our group together. So way back in 2005-6, still when I was hot into IT security only. So we thought of starting a shop for organic. So first of all, there's too much ahead of time. Second thing is when we started procuring material and we went to the fraud of organic certification. So that was my first exposure to what's actually happening on the field and what this certification lobby is doing, all that. So we realized that good products are itself not available, which can be truthfully said to be organic. Or so at that time, organic was a very good word to me. I thought it's to be the solution. So in 2009-10, then we started with biological, made some tablets of microbials. So still while working with this, we're realizing that with all this thing, when you're going to the farmers also, we are not solving their problem properly because they are looking for a solution. I'm making biofertilizer, making biopesticides, but we are not making the kind of impact we want to make. Right? We are not able to change the thing. So post 2020, we went back to the table and said, well, let's rethink
Hmm,
that what we are doing.
hmm,
Right. So there we restarted working and fine tuning the solution that how we can get into the plant protection space.
Hmm.
It's not only good to have, it should be a must to have solution.
Hmm.
One thing. Second, across all these years, we realize one thing, that if I am going and bringing a solution which is going to target the organic growers only, then I am probably not making any additional impact.
Hmm.
Because if somebody is already doing organic,
Hmm.
he's already practicing very good.
Hmm.
I bring in two more products which can help him further probably a bit.
Hmm.
But am I making much impact?
Hmm.
So we changed our focus.
Hmm.
Our focus had been now, and for last for 3, 4 years, and since that Mitrasena came up a couple of years back. So we said our focus has to be those who are not into organic,
Right.
those who are using all kind of chemical left, right, and center.
Yeah.
People for whom farming is a profession in which they need to make money,
Hmm.
right? Now, our idea was, can we give these people a seamless transition gradually into reduction of toxicity?
Hmm.
So my take was, instead of servicing 2% market, let me target the 98% market. So from economically, it makes sense.
Hmm.
From impact wise, it was very clear.
Hmm.
Instead of making 2% 100% organic,
Hmm.
if I can make 20%, reduce their pesticide load by 50%,
Hmm. Hmm.
still I'll be making a bigger impact.
Okay.
And at the same time, bringing belief to them for them to get into this path further, and parallelly improve their soil so that their productivity gradually goes up.
Okay.
And there also, where focus was how we can get reduction on the nitrogen uses,
Right.
additional nitrogen uses rather, synthetic
Right.
nitrogen.
Yeah.
So with that focus, with working on silica and other combination, and I'm glad to share that we had been able to achieve this result in many farms.
Okay.
Many of the farms in 3 years had transited without sacrificing on profit.
Hmm.
While making good money, they have transferred from being totally toxic to a space whereby they seldom use a pesticide now.
Hmm.
So, or pesticide reduction to range of 70%, 80%.
Hmm.
And 30, 20, 40% are very common now.
Hmm.
All those who get in touch with us, they end up getting to that space very easily.
Hmm.
And in 2, 3 years, they are going to 70, 80%.
Hmm.
And with that micro magic thing, and with better supply of biologicals at low cost to the farmers,
Hmm.
we are sure we can achieve that even faster now.
Okay.
Because like all this was achieved when biologicals, everything was supplied directly from the factory.
Right.
So we were not able to get them to use the same quantity we wanted them to use.
Hmm.
Now with the cost going down to 10%, they can definitely increase their consumption of biological by 5x to 10x from
Okay.
the same budget.
Okay.
This will accelerate their journey towards sustainable and
Hmm.
non-toxic agriculture while
Okay.
improving the soil. So this has been my short journey.
Okay. Well, it's a remarkable journey, and I'm so glad you are doing it. I think it's a very important step, which I don't think the government can take. It has to be done by passionate people like you and brought to the farmer directly. I think government programs inherently cannot achieve what you are achieving. It's pointless saying the government alone should do it. You are driving it. It's very good. Okay. Uh, Let me just say that uh, my last bit in any Vidped is to ask for the final word. What's your message to the world?
One simple thing, keep on evolving, keep on trying out a niche for you. There are many problems, and there are going to be bottlenecks. There are going to be problems.
Hmm.
There are going to be problems from the policy, from the government, pushback from the society.
Hmm.
As I said, you'll be disliked by both the lobbies whenever you take a middle path. But be rational, and you will also find that a lot of people start loving you
Hmm.
automatically because you are making an impact.
Hmm.
So if I have an idea which can make impact,
Hmm.
which can be a reasonable idea, if you feel it's a rational and scientific thing,
Hmm.
pursue that, try to fine tune it, and try to deliver results.
Okay.
That's what I keep on focusing, and that's what I'll tell everybody to do.
Okay,
That's
wonderful.
where we can make impact.
Wonderful. Okay, let's end it here today. I do want to talk to you offline. That's why I also want to end it. And because I'm really running short of time also. But let's end it here today. I'll be back with another young person or an expert like Mr. Malani. Till then, bye.